Hi all, today we are going to see about this business case, that is real estate company. And there is a real estate company which has got various buildings, and the buildings can be of the villas, commercials, or the apartments. There are three different type of villas where the buildings can be of. And there is an owner, whose full name, nationality, the CPR, the address, and the email will be kept track of. And for each company, they need to maintain the address, the purchase prices, the monthly taxes. So all this information which are given here has to be maintained. And what you finally have to do is that the real estate agent wants a form that displays the summary of all the properties which they have. So this is what we are going to build in this session. So today we are going to see about a simple example which shows how to implement the inheritance operation using the enterprise architect. And similarly, if you have implemented that, if you have built a proper design for the business case which you have got in EA, then how can you convert that into a proper implementation? So that is what we are going to see here. So here we have taken a small example where we have something called, it's kind of a real estate example, where we have the building as the base class, and we have apartment, commercial, and villa as the derived classes. And there is a normal relationship. It's an association relationship between the owner. So what we are going to try to do is that we are going to implement a simple program in Visual Studio C hash, which uh, does this inheritance. And from the base classes, we are going to create objects for all the base classes, and from the derived classes, we are going to create objects for all the derived classes. And using the object of the derived classes, we are going to access this property summary, which is one of the function of the base class. So we have derived classes and we have the base class, and we have proper inheritance between them. So all these classes are basically inherited from the class building. So if there are function and the properties in the base class, basically if it is a derived class, you can directly access it. And the derived class can have other functions apart from those in the base classes. So that is what you have to understand. So here we are not worried about the functions which we have uh, defined defined for the derived classes, but we are trying to create objects for each of these derived classes, and using those objects we are trying to access this property summary, so which can print the complete details about the building, like it has got a villa, it has got a commercial, it has got an apartment kind of. So we are going to pass the data and print it using this property summary. So this is all our program is all about. So when you see here, you have your main program, so which is renamed as from main.cs. So this is the main program. So in the main program, if you see, um, yes, you have. So how did you understand that? Yeah, this is the main program because you have got this void static main. So this is the main function. So main function is basically starting your form. So this is a Windows form application. So basically, when you run this particular program, this looks something like this. It's just taking some time. So when I am asking to display, it will display all the information, like it has got an apartment and what is it all about, and it has got a commercial, it has got a villa. All this information will be displayed. So this is what is basically done by this program. So it's as simple as that. And you have got a show property function, the button click. So when you click on the button, what has to happen, right? And the button close. So this is exactly like the exit function which you have learned in the previous examples. Okay. And what happens to the CLS building? So the CLS building is the base class which has got various attributes and the functions. And as you could see here, this is a string array. So it takes up different strings like apartment, commercial, villa. So it's a type. Okay. And there is something called const, which you have already studied in Java. So where what happens is that when the compiler just assigns the value which is on the right hand side to the variable which is given here on the left hand side during the compilation process, and you have got a default constructor, and the default constructor does nothing basically here. And there is also an parameterized constructor with different parameters. So you could see that this is kind of a polymorphism overloading which is implemented here, where you have got the same function with different parameters. The number of the parameters only differs. And there is something called this function here, which is basically used to access your base class. And there is another this operator which will help you to invoke the instance, the current instance of that particular class. So this is something which you would understand in C hash. There is a this operator, and this can also be used as a function. And all the other, like you have address, purchase date, everything. So all these things are basically implemented with the help of the getters and the setters in. So whenever it comes to inheritance, basically we use the getters and the setters. And moreover, you could see that they are all protected. So basically we use this getters and setters here, and these are all simple mechanisms. We have not used any rocket science concepts here to. So the value of the monthly payment has to be greater than 0. So we have just implemented very basic concepts, so which could be easily available, easily understandable basically. And this is the main member function which you have to keep in mind. So this in this member function, we basically get the different type of the building types and just prints all these informations regarding this. Is but when we run this and click on the property button, sorry, display button, we basically gets the details from here. And this class apartment, when you see this class apartment, this is by this particular line itself you will be able to understand it's actually inherited from the class building. So it has got its own parameters, and it has got its base constructor, the parameterized constructor, and everything is given here. So this is something which you have to understand. So you have this commercial, which is again inherited class, and you can see villa. This is again inherited class. Okay, so these are the main things which you have to understand. And in the in and when you see here, this is the form. So in the form, in the main function, so what the from main. So when you call this from the from main, so this is the one which will help you to create the form, right? So here you are basically building, instantiating, or the instantiation of the objects are basically happened here. So you're creating a new object for CLS building, and this is just to take the system time. So whatever be the system time, that will be taken here. And you are basically creating a new object, my apartment, for the CLS apartment class, and here my commercial for the CLS commercial class, and CLS villa. So that's all. So here this is just to show the show property, means it is just for the display purpose. So we are just taking each string at a length. So you're just checking for the length. So you're printing each and every string associated with that particular string array. And in the button click, this is your button show. So hope you know that in your in the view you can go to the property window. So in the property window, say in the form, one second, in the form, when you click on this, okay, so this is the button show. Okay, so this has to show some image. Okay, so some details, right? So that is what we have basically done here. So in the button show, we are actually taking the string array, and we are my apartment is the object for the apartment class, and using that object you are actually calling the function, member function, in the base class. Okay, passing all the parameters. Okay, and you are doing a show property, so you're actually displaying it. So this is what you are doing in all the three, for the commercial and for the villa, everything. And there is something called exit button. So in the exit button, basically you're just doing one thing, that is close. So this is what your program is all about. And when you run this particular program, you could see that there is a display button and this is the exit button. So exit button just has the close, that's all. And in the display button, basically what happens is that it passes all the information and gets all the information through the property summary and displays with the help of the show property. So that's what is happening. So hope you understood this. If you have any comments or anything or any issues, please let me know. Thank you so much.